So the next question is mine only. Why can we never forgive some people, even though I know that thinking about them hurt only myself? Won't it be that easy that if we forget them or forgive them, it gives me happiness, it gives me satisfaction, calm, and peace?
You see, you have checked into a hotel. The experience there is not good enough, right? Now, two scenarios. First, in a fit, in a sway of rage, you check out of the hotel at midnight and find yourself on the road, on the pavement. And it's cold. It's January. Scenario 2. You check out of an inferior hotel and check in to a superior hotel, a wonderful one. When are you going to miss the bad hotel?
When I don't get something good in life?
That's what. Life does not afford vacuums. It cannot, by its very definition, because we have to be better. That's the reason we keep looking for something to relate to, something to identify with, something to do, something to call our own, something to associate our name with. Because that's the nature of human consciousness. We are born to be better. And there is only one way to be better. Associate yourself progressively with better people, better thoughts, better causes, better places, better work. So life keeps wanting betterment. Now, incidentally, it may happens with all of us, that you may associate yourself with something unworthy, relatively unworthy. Happens with all of us because there is error of judgment and we ourselves are not so worthy that we make the right decisions every time. So that's something that happens and will happen. But what does one do from there? One has to move on in a very progressive way. Just moving on makes little sense. You have to ask yourself, if I'm still the same person who got associated with the wrong person in the first place, have I moved on? Moving on is not only about dropping a particular person or thing or episode in life. Moving on is actually about moving on from your previous inferior self. That's the meaning of moving on. If you don't move on in an internal way, you will find yourself staring at a vacuum, and we said life does not afford vacuums, so that vacuum will be again filled by someone equally unworthy. That's a terrible danger, isn't it? And a wastage of life. So one has to keep getting better. One has to keep identifying why one made mistakes in the first place. And when you ask yourself, what was it within me that pushed me to that person, thing, place, or relationship you will discover that a lot of that is still firmly seated within you. And that's a thing of warning. One must be cautious at this point, no? One stumbled because one was wearing dark glasses. One fell down, one bruised her knees, and you get up and you curse the stone or the boulder you stumbled against, and you say, I'm moving on, and I'm moving on with the same dark glasses. You're still the same person. You'll again, probably, unfortunately, meet the same hurt. No? So, missing someone you had in your life at a point is a clear indicator that you are much the same person you were at that point in time. At that point in time, you were someone who was attracted to that person. And now you say you have seen the worst of it, you don't want to continue, you want to quit, and you say you still miss that person. Then how are you different from the person, your previous self, that fell for that person in the first place? You are much the same, and if you are much the same, then you will again receive hurt much the same. So, internal development is the only solution. When you change from within, then your relationships, your thoughts, your ideologies, your role models, all of them naturally change without effort. And if you remain the same, then all the things around you occupying your physical and mental space, they too will remain the same. How does one develop internally? Wisdom literature is the key. Read and read. In fact, one mark of great company is, does the person you are with encourage you to read? You have to ask, what does he bring for me? Roses or books? And be very cautious of those who bring roses for you, especially red roses. Books are what we all need, right? And books are dangerous. Books are dangerous because they make you better. When they make you better, you do not fall for the inferior. Therefore, if somebody has a stake in keeping you inferior, that person will keep you away from books. If someone has a stake in making you better, that person will push you towards books. Do you see this? The purpose of relationship is not cheap gratification. Remember who we are. We are the ones born for improvement. Therefore, the purpose of relationship is self-improvement. If a relationship does not result in your internal improvement, it's a bad relationship. Right? So read a lot, and if I may advise, you may begin with Vedanta. And I understand it's not the in thing these days to go for wisdom literature, especially Vedant. But I would put my weight behind this, and I'll vouch for this. You will benefit.
Thank you so much. I will definitely try to read that and come out with a situation. Thanks a lot. It really helps me. Thank you.
Sir, now one query out of it.
Yes.
When you see your past memories, bad associations, and you said you have to see yourself very honestly, your inner side, inner self. It becomes difficult because most of the time, what I see is some fault in the other guys. I have been Saf and Pak. I have done my, the way I should perform upon. And the relationship, something has come bad from that person, that shortcomings. So, how to be honest about in my analysis?
You see, I went to buy a sweater, and this is what I picked. Right? And now I find it has 14 holes. Who is to be blamed? The sweater or the buyer?
My selection. My
Right. So that's it. If the other person is bad, then one is worse to fall for a bad person. The more you say the other person is bad, the more you prove you are worse. If he is so bad, how did you fall for him? So do not say the other person is so bad and I am so great. Had you really been great, you wouldn't have fallen for a bad person. So this kind of self-victimization is self-defeating and self-exposing. One is not only making bad choices, one is not accepting that the fault lies within. One is trying to blame circumstances or fate, whereas the chief culprit is one's own lack of discretion. So, rather than engaging in needless fault finding, find out what is it within you that pushes you to the wrong objects in life, be it a wrong sweater, a wrong locality, a wrong profession, or a wrong person, a wrong movie to watch, a wrong restaurant to dine at. Now, having used the word wrong so many times, I have fueled the question, what exactly is meant by wrong? If we are the ones whose purpose is to grow in life, then obviously only one thing can be wrong. To put oneself in situations or relationships that impede one's growth, that's what is wrong. Ask yourself, are my relationships, are my decisions good for my inner growth? Will they lead to an inner clarity and freedom? Or will they aggravate my existing bondages? Because I am already in trouble. Is this relationship, is this decision to purchase or whatever, is this going to liberate me of my pre-existing troubles, or is it going to aggravate them? So one has her eye firmly on the goal, and the goal is freedom from bondages. On the yardstick of this goal, all of one's decisions are to be weighed and assessed. Let there be no other consideration. You are relocating to another city. You are changing jobs, you are entering a relationship, you are picking up a book to read. Always the criteria has to be one. What is this thing in my life, this new thing in my life, going to do to my consciousness? Is my mind going to feel freer, simpler, clearer, more illuminated? Or am I going to be more in bondage, in debt, in obligations? That's a question I think one must ask.
Thank you, sir.